Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Frank Menard here from the Menard Team Coaching. Hey, this week's video, I want to bring a little bit of a different format. I got up this morning, as I usually do. I typically read for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And today I picked up a book that I've had for many years. I can tell because the pages are turning yellow. But this is a book called Napoleon Hill's Year of Growing Rich. And in this book, it's meant to be like a daily reader. And this is the 32nd week of the year, and so I went to week number 32. It actually breaks it out for each week. You get to read a couple of pages, page and a half maybe, about a relating principle that Napoleon teaches. So it talks all about his keys to success. Well, this week's chapter, I'd like to share it with you, and then we can share some ideas at the end. The value of positive thinking. Is a negative mental attitude barring your way to success? So that's a question. Is a negative mental attitude barring your way to success? If so, it's time to change. The negative-minded person accepts any problem or obstacle as insurmountable. The positive person not only finds ways to overcome obstacles, but actually turns them into stepping stones. Then he goes on to tell a story. In Louisiana, a large piece of acreage was put up for sale. On two bids, only two bids were received. One from a man who owned the adjoining land. He made a lower bid because much of the ground was covered with bamboo growth, which he thought made the land practically worthless. The other bidder made an offer twice as high. He got the land. He cut the bamboo into fishing poles, and he sold them for enough money to pay the price of the land. Thus, a positive mind attracts opportunities for success, while negative-mindedness repels opportunities and doesn't even take advantage of them when they come along. So the first guy only saw what he saw, rather than using his imagination and seeing what he could possibly do with the land. The second gentleman made a much higher offer, got the land, and was able to use his imagination by using the resources on the land to make something that he could sell, which actually in turn paid for the land. I heard a similar story about Thomas Edison. It was my understanding that the land in Fort Myers, Florida, that Thomas Edison and Ford actually lived on, the land was up for sale, and nobody wanted it because it was covered with rubber trees. And Edison bought it for pennies an acre. I mean, he got it for a steal. He then turned around and converted the rubber trees to rubber, which what I understand, sold to his friend Harvey Firestone. Oh, go figure. Harvey Stone Firestone tires. So he used the rubber trees to make a product that he could sell to a colleague for one of his inventions to be able to pay for the land. So this happens all the time, but it's the way we look at things, right? Napoleon goes on to tell another story in the book about F.W. Woolworth. So I'm going to give away my age now because I actually remember the store named Woolworths. Actually, it was Woolworths 5 and 10. It used to be one right across the street from my elementary school back in my hometown in New Hampshire. So F.W. Woolworth began as a clerk in a hardware store. The annual inventory showed that the store was stocked with thousands of dollars of merchandise that was out of date and practically useless. So Woolworth went to his boss at that time, the owner, said, "Hey, let's run a bargain sale," he suggested, "and sell off all of the old merchandise." Well, the owner initially rejected the idea, thought it was foolish, but Woolworth persisted. In fact, he persisted as most people with a positive mental attitude do. He kept after the store owner until it was agreed that the plan could be tried out with a few of the very oldest items. A long table was built down the middle of the store, and every item on it was priced at 10 cents. The goods went so fast that Woolworth got permission to run a second sale, which also went over with a bang. Then he proposed to the owner that they go into partnership with a 5 and 10 cent store, with Woolworth supplying the management of the store and the store owner supplying the capital. The store owner said no. Matter of fact, he shouted no. The plan will never work because you can't find enough items to sell at a nickel and a dime. Woolworth went ahead and by himself piled up a fortune and started the great chain stores by his name, F.W. Woolworth, 5 and 10. In speaking of the transaction years later, Woolworth's old boss woefully said, as near as I can figure, every word I used turning Woolworth down cost me about $1 million. So he realized his mistake much too late. A negative mental attitude carries with it many related traits. So think about this. A negative mental attitude carries with it many related traits: fear, indecision, doubt, procrastination, irritability, and anger. And all of those repel people and drive away favorable opportunities. A positive mental attitude, on the other hand, brings with it faith, enthusiasm, personal initiative, and self-discipline, imagination, and definiteness of purpose. All of those traits attract people and beneficial opportunities. So how do you maintain a positive mental attitude? By thinking and acting on the can-do portion of every plan or purpose and refusing to accept insurmountable, the no can do portion that can be found in almost every undertaking. So that's this week's reading. Week number 32, 2024. We got 20 weeks left. Wrote down a couple of notes about what we just read. One thing that stood to mind was the power of belief. What we believe shapes our reality. And I think you'll all agree that if you focus positively and you're thinking about the positive things in your life, you show gratefulness for the things that you have in life, then it shapes your reality. You're more happy. You're easier to be with people, and therefore people are attracted to you, and good opportunities show up. Positive thinking fosters self-belief. So one of the things that we really need is to believe in ourselves. That's the principle that Hill calls faith. It's not just a religious faith, nothing wrong with that. It's not a religious faith, it's faith in your own abilities to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, the things that you uncover with your imagination. Self-belief also attracts success and opportunity because you're open to it. All right? Negativity closes the door and stops those opportunities to arrive. I also wrote down, we're influenced by our environment. So it's really, really important to surround yourself with positive influences because that enhances your mindset. Right? So if you're surrounded with toxic people who are always complaining about politics, the government, the neighborhood, the community, nothing ever happens, you need to get away from that toxicity because all it's going to do is bring your mind down, right? So again, surround yourself with positivity and your mindset will become better. And at the end of the day, negativity actually hinders progress. So we want to make sure we stay on that positive light. And the last note I wrote down talks about visualization and affirmations. Visualization and affirmations actually reinforces positive thinking. So you want to visualize what's going to happen in the future from a positive respect. It's going to help you think positively. It also helps you to focus on achieving goals. Again, it goes back to having faith. If you focus on the achievement of goals and you have belief that you can do it, then you will do it. Whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Right? It's Napoleon's famous quote. So look, I don't know if you like this format or not, but I think I'll probably do this a few more times over the next several weeks. I know I talked about having a positive mental attitude a couple of weeks ago, but I just thought it would be kind of nice to go into an old book. I think I've probably had this 15, 20 years, and learn the value of having a positive mental attitude, value of positive thinking. So with that, I just want to remind you guys that if you found this message valuable, please feel free to share it with a friend or a family member. If you haven't already, please subscribe below. And I do want to let you know that I have several programs now that are available with my affiliation with Napoleon Hill Institute. One of them is called the Self-Confidence Camp. We also have self-discipline camp, actually self-discipline and self-confidence camp. There's two separates. And we also have a mentorship program, which runs for about 8 months. And if you think that perhaps you would like to investigate being a coach with Napoleon Hill, we have coaches all over the world. and we would love to have more so we can help spread the word of Napoleon's beautiful 17 keys to success and how we can help other people live the best lives, the lives they want to live. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link below where you can just link in. You can schedule a call with me, or you can just send me an email and we can get together there. All right. So for that, that's today's video, today's message. I hope you guys have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll talk soon.